Welcome to the Inner Loop Radio. I'm Rachel Kuntz, and I'm just checking in with short story writer Rion Amilcar Scott. Let's see what he's up to.
Hello?
Hi, Rion.
All right, so how are you?
Yeah, good. So, how is writing going? What have you been working on?
Yeah, I think I tried to have a period of downtime, which kind of didn't work out well. Um, things kept popping up. And I eventually got back to writing, working on some stories that I'm trying to wrap up. A novella that I'm trying to wrap up.
Nice.
Uh and just trying to find time for that. I'm having a hard time finding time for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you have kids and a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have somewhere you can like lock yourself away from everyone and get some privacy?
No, not really.
Really?
Not really. No. I'm gonna go away later this summer and do some research and write in Virginia. So that will be my version of locking myself away.
Oh, nice. Is it like a residency or did you just like find your own spot?
And find my own spot.
Nice.
Find my own spot. Yeah.
Is it like an Airbnb? Do you mind my asking? I'm just curious because I want to get away from my family a lot.
It's like a cabin. um out
Nice.
in out in Virginia, where so I'm gonna be doing some research as well as writing.
Like into the local area?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, cool, cool. I actually just got back from we do a residency at the Woodlawn site, which is like the sister site to Mount Vernon.
Mhm.
And we do summer residencies there where people kind of think about the land and like ownership and all the history of the site. And it's like
Oh
super
wow.
fascinating. Yeah, go ahead.
That would connect with what I'm doing actually.
Oh, really?
Um yeah. With my I mean I don't want to give too much away.
Right.
With the novel I'm working on. Yeah. I right before the pandemic I went out to Mount Vernon. Um
hmm
just on a tour as part of research.
Yeah. What did you think? What was your experience?
Um yeah, so I had never been there before. It was a very crowded day. Um and and um just the sadness of the enslavement
hmm
that site was party to
hmm
was I just remember they were trying to find the plots of land where the people were buried because they didn't even really give them the dignity of headstones or
Yeah.
marking or anything like that. I was happy to see that they had centered the slave the slave nature of the place, that it's not
hmm
that it wasn't framed as this heroic place
hmm
where George Washington rested his head.
Yeah.
I remember my father telling me that when he first came to this country, it's one of the first places that this is in the '60s. That somebody had invited him out to take a tour. And he was saying it was completely different then. That
Mm.
there wasn't much about about the slave experience of Mount Vernon.
That is so funny. We were just talking about that because we've been doing the residency at Woodlawn for since like 2016. And I feel like more recently they've been more putting in more effort to put in the front like the stories of the enslaved people.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
so, whereas before when we would take tours on the site, they would talk about it was George Washington's niece's house or something, and they talked all about her and like her history. And this time when we did the tour, next to every piece, like artifact of like the Washington family was like an artifact from, not even an artifact necessarily, but some in some cases they were pieces of art that people created after the fact, but trying to retrace the history of the enslaved peoples on the site. And so they're like trying to put, like, the different stories of the histories next to each other to kind of start that conversation of what history means and the kind of stories that we honor when we go to those historical sites.
That's a good development.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a very good development.
yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. Like also we've been doing the writers in residence there, like the kind of stories that people unearth just by like being there and being interested and like asking the right questions, when they go to that space. So you should come along. Maybe
I
we
would
can
love to. I would
arrange a
love
week
to.
for you to like, be on
I
site.
would love to. We need to connect about that.
Yeah, that'd be great. So, yeah, so you're gonna go away this summer. That's super exciting. I'm super envious. I did a residency at Virginia Center for the Creative Arts in February,
Hmm.
and that was after a huge dry spell of writing, and it was awesome. It was like it was like those one of those well-timed escapes when I, you haven't written in months and months and months, and then it just all comes pouring out. So I feel like I need to get on that again.
Yeah, I'm hoping it happens with me.
Yeah.
I've been writing a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's fits and starts. What I've been doing this summer is I've been, in my classes I had this writing exercise we did, throughout the semester. So for me, that was 2 times a week. What I've done is, what I'm doing now is I wake up at like 6 in the morning, 6:50,
Oh wow.
um, and I do that writing exercise. I read a little bit. Right now, it's a nice news journal. Then I visualize, meditate for about 5 minutes. And then for 10 minutes, I write. Do a sort of free write where I turn my whatever I'm feeling, my mood, into a metaphor.
Mm,
And yeah, and then after that, read a little bit again.
mm, nice.
So, and I've actually been doing that pretty faithfully, since since the semester ended.
Oh
So,
wow.
which is a surprise even to me, that I've been able to do that every day. But the free write so far, none of it has really gone into anything that I'm working on. Yeah, so I expected it to, you know, I expected, whatever I was writing um, to sort of feed into my current projects, but they really have sort of been sort of standalone pieces.
Mm, that's cool.
And the good thing about it is, I'm gonna have stuff to work on later.
Yeah.
A lot of it I'm really happy about and excited about, but they're gonna take some time to unfold
Mm,
in the future.
yeah. That's cool. So has anything been like preoccupying you lately? For example, I have something in mind. Last night, my partner was telling me about this submarine that went down to the bottom of the ocean and got lost. Have you heard
Well, that's
about this?
preoccupying all of us. Yeah. Yeah, all the whole intrigue about that. I've been following that. As a matter of fact, when I was in Alma, there was a guy who wrote this Harper's piece. He actually went down in one of those,
Oh,
and he wrote a
really?
piece in
I'm
Harper's.
writing that
Yeah,
down so
that
I can read
happened to
this.
come out this week. And he was talking
That's
about it.
crazy.
Um, uh, and he was talking about it. While we were there. And he was saying that, you know he did it for this piece, and um it didn't feel terrifying. It felt peaceful. But it's something that he'll never do again. Um, and he said that he was down there for 3 hours, but it's like time didn't feel like um time didn't feel like time.
Wow.
He said, I was down there for 3 hours, but it didn't feel like 3 hours, but it also didn't feel like 3 minutes.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah. So And Matthew Gavin Frank is the author of the Harper's piece, and yeah, I think right before we got on, I think I heard that they found it.
Oh, really? I didn't see that because I was
Yeah,
driving. Wow.
yeah. So I've been preoccupied with that, the whole intrigue of it, down to the gallows humor, all of it.
Yeah, it's yeah. I've been telling Courtney that I have all this sort of anti-capitalism rage lately, and um
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like this is such a
Always.
little gem. Yeah, always exactly. This is such a gem of like the privatization of everything, and I don't know.
And deregulation of everything,
Exactly.
hubris,
Just
there's hubris, there's a lot in that story.
yeah. Yeah, it's like one of those things. Was I talking to you? I can't remember. But I feel like there was a time when it felt like reality was so absurd that it was hard to write fiction for a while. Oh. Well, it's been really nice catching up with you, and I wish you all the luck on finishing your project this summer. I believe it can happen
Yes.
for you. You can get it
Yes,
done this
thank you.
summer. Have a great week.
You too.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next Monday with more literary fun. Remember to subscribe so you can get inspired, get focused, and get lit on the Inner Loop Radio.